The Victini V Battle Decks might just be the best theme decks we've had in a while. Let's see how we can upgrade them on PTCGO. Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. My name is Mitch and today we're going to take a look at the Victini V Battle Deck, a theme deck style product that has been released for new players of the Pokemon trading card game. Today we're going to take a look at its contents and then I'm going to tell you how you can upgrade it so you can win some games in the Standard Ladder on PTCGO. So this is the deck list as the product is provided to you. Obviously we have one copy of Victini V with Energy Burst and Spreading Flames. This card is really strong. It's the base V of the Victini V Max deck, which is going around at the moment, an incredibly powerful 2-energy attacker. So this card is a really good start to work towards that particular deck. But to be honest, there's a lot of other good cards in here as well. We'll draw our attention firstly to the Libero Cinderace, which is a stage 2 with 170 HP. Libero means once per turn when you move this Pokemon from your bench to the active, you can put 2 fire energies from your discard pile onto this Pokemon, which is really strong. It means that you can power up Flare Striker for 190 damage in one turn. We just move the Cinderace from the bench to the active, we attach an energy, and then we'll be able to attack for 190 damage. That's really powerful, and combining that with our copy of Make Do Cinccino means that we can discard energy, draw 2 cards, and then start the switch from there. So a really good partnership. What we're going to do is when we upgrade this deck in just a second, we're going to base it around this Cinderace, because as much as we want to go for Victini V Max straight away, that's quite expensive. So we'll start off with Cinderace instead. What other cards do we get which are useful? Well, I mean, we've got Sonia, which is a good supporter. We've got Professor's Research, which is also a good supporter. Also take note of cards like Level Ball, which is very strong, as well as Switch and those kind of things. But in general, a pretty good product. With a few alterations though, we can turn this deck into a standard legal deck that can win games on the ladder, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Now here's the list that I've put together for the upgraded version of this particular deck. If you like it and you want to play along with me in just a second, there is a list down in the description that has every single one of these cards in it. You can just copy and paste that straight into PTCGO. Whilst you're there, leave a like. It's the single most valuable thing that you can do to support your favorite content creator. Obviously we are focusing on the Cinderace. I've got the nice shiny ones because that's just the way that I am. I've also got the Minccinos as well. We've increased the counts for these cards. 3-3 Minccino, Cinccino, and a 4-2-4 Cinderace line. It's not too hard to get those cards. They're relatively cheap online. You can pick them up relatively easily. I've also gone for the Gourmandize Snorlax as a consistency card. We don't have any Vs or VMAXs, no GXs in this deck, so it should be relatively easy to put together. We have got a slightly different supporter line. We've included cards like Boss's Orders and Marnie, both of which are really strong. And we've kept those Bird Keepers in there as well because switching is really important. The rest of the deck is relatively self-explanatory. What we'll do is we'll take it out onto the ladder and I'll show you how this upgraded theme deck is capable of winning even against some of the best decks in the Standard Ladder. Okay, so we're going first. We've got an average hand, to be honest, but we do have Capture Energy, so we can grab ourselves a Scorbunny and then just pass from there. That's pretty much all we need to do. Capture Energy, a really good addition as well in this particular deck, allows us to search out basic Pokemon, which are so important. Looks like we're playing a lightning-based deck here, but they've not had a super strong start, so what we're going to do is we're going to play down Cinccino, we're going to play down Minccino as well. I might play the Capture Energy here and grab a Gourmandize Snorlax, and then I'll retreat into that Snorlax, to be honest. I will evolve into the Raboot, which is a really good card to have, and then we'll make do and discard one of those fire energies, which is going to be important later on when we have Cinderace. We do have 2 Evo Incenses here, so I'll hold on to those. Let's Gourmandize, draw a few extra cards, and then next turn we should, with the current hand that we've got, be able to have another Cinccino in play and get ourselves a Cinderace, but we can't because of the reset stamp. Fair enough. These things happen. We've got the Cinderace still with the Evo Incense, which is fantastic, and a couple of Scorbunnies as well. If we do manage to find a copy of Fire Energy off of the top deck, that would be fantastic. We can discard that. Maybe we can attack with Cinderace this turn, because we have 1 Fire Energy in the discard pile already. So if we... Okay, we're getting Marnie. So there you go. I've had my hand disrupted twice in a turn, and frankly, I'm not particularly happy about it. But what I am happy about is the fact that we're playing against a very, very good deck. We're playing up against Pikaram. Now, hopefully... That's a weird retreat. I wonder why they've done that. I probably would have retreated into the Bolton, to be honest, but it's fine. If we can find as many copies of our Scorbunny as possible, we should be able to mitigate the fact that our opponent is going to try and use their GX attack against us here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Sonia this turn to try and draw a couple of Scorbunnies, and then we'll just Snorlax again. It looks like our opponent is going to get their Electrify off, so they've got 3 energies there. Look at that, we've managed to find a Level Ball as well. We can grab a Scorbunny. Let's throw that down. Now we can put down the Cinccino. We could potentially just go for the energy off of the Sonia, but maybe we just get rid of the Ordinary Rod with Make Do first. Let's do that. We will thin out a little bit. We've got a Marnie here. We've got an Evo Incense as well. Let's Make Do away the Sonia now. We don't really need that anymore. And we've found a Level Ball and a Cinderace. Okay, so we'll evolve into the Cinderace, and then we can probably Level Ball as well and grab that extra Scorbunny, which is what I'm going to do. We've got a bunch of Pokemon on the bench. I don't think we really want a Marnie because our opponent only has 3 cards, so we will Gormandize instead. And hopefully my game doesn't crash. There's a little bit of a stutter, which is a bit weird. They're going to Marnie us. Okay, fair enough. So that's a bit disappointing, but we can definitely... My cat just done something very strange. Anyway, we can definitely get around here as long as we can get this Snorlax out of the active. We've got 1 Fire Energy in the discard pile. It looks like they're going to Electrify again. So, not ideal. But we do have our Cinderace ready to go. Let's Make Do. We're going to get rid of a Fire Energy here just to thin out a bit. We've got another energy there, which is great. We can Evo Incense, find Raboot. I think that's probably a good call, just to thin that out of the deck. We are looking for a Scoop Up Net or a Switch if we have either of them in the deck. I can't even remember, to be honest. I think we just have, like, what do you call them? Air balloons and other things. Let's attach... I'm gonna attach to the Scorbunny here because I think it's the thing that they're least likely to knock out next turn. I want to save that energy if I can. Let's Marnie. We're a little bit unlucky here. We've got an Evo Incense and a Rare Candy. I can probably hold on to those, to be honest. And we can just Gormandize for another couple of cards. We've got a slow start, but I'm still feeling relatively confident. Because even if our opponent manages to Tag Bolt GX and knock out 2 of our Pokemon, we can still come out on top of this game. So hopefully everything works out for us here. But the more turns we don't attack, the more chance our opponent has to put themselves in a commanding position. Here's the Tag Bolt. They're going to knock out the Snorlax and also the Cinderace, which is disappointing. But we do have the Rare Candy and the Evo Incense in hand. We have a Bird Keeper as well, so we definitely have an attack. So we'll put the Cinccino in the active. Then we'll go for the Evo Incense. We'll grab ourselves Cinderace. We will Rare Candy into our Cinderace here. So we are ready to start attacking this turn. We can also Quick Ball, get rid of that Snorlax. We won't need that anymore. We'll grab another Scorbunny, because we need as many attackers as possible. And then I think we're going to just go for the Bird Keeper, to be honest. We'll go straight into Cinderace. We'll draw our 3 cards. We'll get our extra energy from the discard pile. And now we can throw down our Cinccinos. And we can start trading cards away to try and get another energy or another attacker next turn. So we've got the Capture, which is fantastic. We can Make Do again. I'll get rid of a Quick Ball because we don't have any more basics left. And this is looking pretty good because we've got an attacker here, and next turn we'll also have another Cinderace because we can evolve into a Cinderace this turn, which is fantastic. We can Air Balloon. We're starting to look like we're doing stuff here. Air Balloon into the Cinccino and then Flare Striker. It's disappointing we're not going to get a knockout, but we are going to put our opponent in an awkward position. Pikaram doesn't really have an attacker that's capable of taking a one-shot on this Cinderace apart from Bolton. So that is a good thing for us. Unfortunately, they've hit heads on their Crushing Hammer, which means now we need to find another energy. But with the boss in our hand, if we can find an energy next turn, we can attack with Cinderace and knock out the Mewtwo and Mew. In saying that, though, they are about to Marnie me again, so what is the point of even talking about what my thought process is? They're going to be getting rid of our hand anyway, but it's fine because we're going to draw into boss again. We didn't. It's disappointing. But it's fine. This is not a problem. If we can find boss, though, and we've not used any of them yet, if we can find boss and knock out that Mewtwo on the bench, then there's very few things that our opponent can do to knock out a Cinderace. So I am still feeling relatively good, surprisingly enough. A Bird Keeper is good, but not good enough. Let's Quick Ball. We'll get rid of the Fan of Waves. I don't have any basics left. I probably should have Ordinary Rotted first. That's fine. Now we will make do and get rid of Air Balloon. It's the least useful card that we have. We found another Cinccino, which is fantastic, so we'll play that down. Still looking for just energy. Energy would be fantastic. Boss would be perfect. Neither of those cards are useful. Now we need energy and boss. Alrighty. This is fine. So we've got energy and boss. So we'll bring that Mewtwo up. We can retreat into our Cinderace and get that going, which is fantastic. And now we've gone from being in a really awkward spot to being in a really good one. What do we have left? We've got an energy in here. We're going to discard 2. We could play the Ordinary Rod and get everything back, and I think that's worth doing. We will throw a Scorbunny and a Cinderace into the deck, and then we'll also grab the Fire Energy out as well. So now we can Flare Striker, we take the knockout, we get 3 prizes, and we are 2 attacks away from winning the game. And to be honest, I don't think that there's a lot our opponent can do at the moment. We do, of course, need to hope that our opponent does not gust Cinccino. But if they do, it's fine. We can just retreat into our Cinderace and start attacking again, which would be fantastic. They've hit a lot of heads on Crushing Hammer this game. It's pretty impressive, the amount of heads that they've been hitting. But you know what? We're not super fussed about it. We've got all the draw we need. We've got the energy. We can accelerate energy from the discard pile, and there's 3 in there now. So we are looking pretty good. As long as everything stays in this kind of area. I've said that a number of times. Now, we've got 9 cards left. We need to be aware of that, and that's something that does happen with these Cinccino-based decks, is you draw through a lot of cards. But that's also a good thing, because it means that we know exactly what cards we've got left in the deck, and we can get access to them very, very quickly. Like, we can go down to 2 cards this turn. So, getting Marnied, a bit frustrating, but again, we're not getting knocked out this turn, so that's not a problem for me. I'm feeling relatively good. We've got a boss, an energy, and a Bird Keeper, so we can draw some cards here. We're feeling pretty solid. Alrighty. We don't need that Marnie, I don't think, so we can make do and get rid of that. Draw a couple of extra cards. There's another Cinderace. I feel like this is a tough one. I feel like I need to either take a knockout this turn or we'll be in trouble, but to be honest, I don't think that there's a realistic way of me doing that, so I think we might just need to settle for hitting into this Boltund, and you know what, that's also fine, like I don't mind that at all, because they still can't knock out the Cinderace, right? They're going to be 10 short of knocking out the Cinderace, so we can do this, we can just Flare Striker, put this Boltund on 190, HP, so they've only got 10 health left. Next turn, we can knock that out with Cinccino if we want to, honestly. Or we can just use Flare Striker to knock them out. But I think we should be fine. This is just an awkward bit now, because we need to attack twice, which I don't really like. Our opponent, though, needs to attack 3 times. So we should still be able to win this game. Like, our prize trading is still good. So it shouldn't be too big of a problem. If they choose to attack with the Boltund, then we should be fine. I just don't know if I have another boss left in the 4 cards in my deck. So hopefully they choose to... Okay, so they're just going to boss. What are they knocking out here? The Cinccino with the Air Balloon. Fair enough. Okay, I think this means that we win this game. So we're going to promote the Cinccino with the Capture Energy. We have Energy Assist, which is fantastic. I could use Make Do once, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to, because we've got 3 cards left. We probably could. We're about to take 2 prizes, so like if we get Marnied, we don't want to be in a bad position, but to be honest, we should be fine anyway. I'm going to attach to the second damaged Cinderace. I think this gives us a bit of flexibility, and as long as our hand stays the same, we should be fine. And then we can, I think we just energy assist for knockout, and we'll attach an energy to, I guess, like, the other Cinderace, maybe. That seems fine, just in case something horrible happens. And we've found an energy off of the prizes, which is good, and a Sonia, so that's a card that we can trade away that we don't need. Now, obviously, our opponent could Marnie us or stamp us and put us in a really awkward position here. We'll be able to draw 3 cards. Maybe I should have gotten rid of the Marnie, but we shouldn't be in too rough of a spot as long as we... well, I mean, we've held our hand. So as long as we hold our hand, we should be fine, and we've held our hand. That means that we are going to win this game. We're going to promote the Cinderace with 1 energy on it. We're going to gust... Oh, we did have another boss. There we go. So it wouldn't have mattered. We would have been able to find it anyway. We can accelerate our energy, and then we gust up a Dedenne and Flare Striker for the victory. Pikaram is probably the best deck in the format right now, so that is a very encouraging sign. Alrighty, we'll give you one more game here. It looks like our opponent has a Swablu in front of him. This one could be an easier game than our last one against Pikaram, but you know what? We'll give it a crack. We'll see how it goes. We've got Scorbunny, we've got Snorlax, we've got Minccino. Let's retreat into the Snorlax and draw ourselves some cards. Obviously, these kind of Swablu decks, they turn into Altaria, and Altaria's whole thing is that they can't be damaged by V or VMAX Pokemon, which... You know what? It's not that big of a deal because we just knocked them out anyway. So that's too easy. It looks like our opponent is playing Excadrill, which means that they're going to be able to knock out this Snorlax quite easily. And they're also going to be putting a lot of pressure on our 1 prize Pokemon. So this is going to be interesting because we've seen it up against a big tag team deck that gives up 3 prizes. It held its own there. Can we hold our own against another 1 prize attacking deck that can one-shot us? We'll see. We will see. But I think this deck has proven, if nothing else, that if you spend a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of effort, trying to get some of these extra cards into this Victini V Battle Deck, that it can be a genuinely strong meta threat. Weirdly enough, without any of the extra cards that go along with it. Let's evolve into Cinccino. We've got a Rare Candy into the Cinderace as well, which is fantastic. We can Bird Keeper if we want. We've got an attack this turn, which is pretty good. If we have 2 fire energies in the discard pile, we would actually be attacking this turn, which is incredible to think about. We're going to thin another Cinderace out, just so that I know that I've got access to another... Well, that extra card's gone, right? So I've thinned it out of the deck. We draw 3. We don't manage to find any energy, which is unfortunate. But we can make do. We can get rid of the Snorlax. We don't really need that. We don't find any energy. We only have 1 fire in there, so we might just have to retreat back into the Snorlax and Gourmandize again. If we had have gotten an attack off that turn, then we would have been away. Getting the first knockout in these kind of 1 prize deck matchups is usually the most important thing. If you can get that first knockout, then you're usually going to be good to go. Now we need to gain a prize back at some point, which means that our opponent will have to play down a 2 prize Pokemon, or they'll have to miss a knockout for a turn. Both possible. But it just means now we're on the back foot a little bit. But that's okay. We can live with that. We can absolutely live with that. So they've gone for a Hapu. Their job now is going to be to try and get themselves through their deck as quickly as possible, because they will want to use 11th hour tackle to knock out our Cinderaces. But Drill Bazooka for the moment deals enough damage to knock out the Snorlax. But that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. We'll be attacking this turn regardless. We've got a Raboot, we've got a Rare Candy into another Cinderace, so we've got all the attackers this time. Now we just need the energy, and this is what Sonia's in the deck for, right? We can use Sonia, we can grab ourselves 2 fire energies, and we can trade 1 away with Make Do, get rid of that, put that in the discard pile, draw 2 extra cards, and then we can actually attach the fire energy and then move into the Cinderace, which is fantastic. We'll grab our 1 energy that we just discarded, but of course I already had 1 in there. That's a bit annoying. It means I could have used Capture Energy to get another Cinccino in play next turn. That's fine. We will just take the knockout with Flare Striker. Leaving 2 energy on the active is actually not that big of a deal. It means that we can potentially save ourselves having to switch next turn. That fire energy off of the top deck is very, very nice. Happy with that for sure. And yeah, we probably could have had a Capture Energy on the benched Cinderace there to allow us to get a second Cinccino next turn, but you know what? It's not that big of a deal. I don't know why you're so stressed about it, frankly. Come on. Like, it's not that big of a deal. That's a big deal. That Dedenne is a massive deal. Okay, so now we can potentially win this game because we can get back in front on the prize trade. They're going to try and take a knockout on the Cinderace here if they can. We're going to try and get a knockout on the Dedenne. That's going to be the key. Because if we get the Dedenne knockout, then we go down to 3 prizes. Our opponent's on 4. We are in position to win the game. Now the question is, can they actually get a knockout on me here? They're equal on prizes. They're going to Marnie the hand away, so there goes the energy. They're equal on prizes, so the Martial Arts Dojo only provides an extra 10 damage. Drill Bazooka's doing 120, plus 10 is 130, which is not going to be a knockout. This could be quite annoying. The Fione. Okay, I guess I have to give them the Raboot, right? I mean, maybe I should have given them the Cinderace, to be honest. That's probably what I should have done. Now, yeah, if I had have given them the Cinderace and then gusted up the Dedenne the next turn, then I would have been in a great position. But that's okay. We all make mistakes. It happens sometimes. That's a bit annoying, to be honest, because I really should have been in a better position here if I had been a little bit more smart about it. But it's fine. Don't worry about it. They're going down to 12 cards in deck, so they're getting closer. But again, we're only ever taking 1 prize, both he and I. So let's keep going. We're going to grab another Scorbunny here, which is a good card to pull off. We're going to grab a... I think I'm going to grab another Minccino with this Capture Energy. Means the Cinccino in our hand will be more useful. Then I will make do. I'll get rid of the Fire Energy. We can always get them back. We can accelerate them back. That Bird Keeper's pretty good. I might just play it, to be honest. I can just take a knockout on the Excadrill. Well, let's retreat. Let's just retreat. We'll go into the Cinderace. I think I've clicked the wrong Cinderace there. We can just Bird Keeper then. Put some more energies in our hand. On our Pokemon. We've got 2 powered attackers now. That's fine. We will Flare Striker for knockout. And, yeah, probably didn't need to do that, but that's okay. We're getting the results. We're getting the knockouts that we need. Now, as long as they leave that Dedenne down, we're still fine. So, not a problem. Another energy is good. We've got the Cinderace on the bench that's already got the energy powered up. We've got another Minccino ready. We've got another Cinderace ready. We've got the boss in our hand. Hopefully, we persist and get this win. They've got themselves their own Cinccino down, which means that now they're going to be able to draw some more cards. And that Professor's research means that now they're knocking out Cinderaces. So if they have an Excadrill here, they will be knocking out my Cinderace this turn, which is a little bit concerning. But it's what we expected, right? We expected the prize trade to be even. We expected them to be able to take knockouts. So again, it just comes down to, as long as we can at some stage take a knockout on that Dedenne, we should be fine. The biggest problem now is going to be attackers. Do we have enough to go on to win the game? And honestly, I think we're going to need another one. So let's promote the Cinccino. That Marnie is obviously an interesting card, but we probably don't want to play it just yet. Let's Rare Candy and evolve. We get the second Cinderace, second Cinccino. We can make do. I'm going to get rid of that Cinccino in our hand. We probably don't need that anymore. That Ordinary Rod is very good. That definitely is something that we want, because I want more Scorbunnies here. What I will do is I will only shuffle Pokemon in. I will put the Scorbunny and a Cinderace back into the deck. And that means now I should be able to at least get one more Cinderace up at some point during this game. Let's use Bird Keeper, and oh, that's brilliant. We would like to accelerate the energy for sure. We managed to find Level Ball and Quick Ball here. So let's Level Ball. We'll grab the Scorbunny. We actually could have used the Level Ball for the... Oh my goodness. Everything's going too fast. Let's get rid of the Quick Ball since we didn't use it. And hopefully we can find a Rare Candy at some point. Let's Flare Striker, take the knockout. We got 3 prizes left to take. Sorry, what I was thinking there is I could have used the Quick Ball to get myself a copy of Raboot, which would have meant that we could have manually evolved up into Cinderace. But now I'm forcing myself to either draw into that Raboot next turn or to find a Rare Candy. Either of those are acceptable, by the way. Like, I can definitely live with both, but I would have much preferred it if I didn't have to do that, so that's okay. We're still fine. Like, this is actually a pretty good spot to be in. They're grabbing themselves Excadrills and energy to continue attacking with that Ordinary Rod, which is fair enough. They'll probably try and draw into one of them with this Cinccino here, and no doubt they will get it. There is the Excadrill. So they're going to be ready to start attacking. and taking their knockouts. So it's all down to us. As long as we have 2 more Cinderaces attacking in this game, we will go on to win, I think, because we can knock out 1 more Excadrill and we can knock out a Dedenne. So as long as we make good decisions, we should be fine. We haven't found a Rare Candy or a Raboot yet. So the question is, where are we going to get it? Hopefully we just get it off of this Make Do. We do not. Okay, that's a problem. We will play down... Let's Ordinary Rod, actually. What we'll do is we'll shuffle some more Pokemon back in. Let's grab another Scorbunny, and we'll grab another Cinderace, I guess. Like, I mean, maybe we should get the Raboot, but it's a Cinderace deck, right? We've got to get the Cinderaces out. I think the Raboot is the better choice, because it then at least gives us the option at some point. We can capture energy and grab the Scorbunny out of the deck. There is 1 Rare Candy left in there, so that is good. Means that we will be able to do that next turn. Let's retreat. Maybe we Marnie. No, we retreat into the Cinderace. We will accelerate our energies, I think. I think it's just correct to do that all the time. Because, I mean, we're going to discard them anyway, so we may as well do that. And then I will take advantage of the fact that I have Boss's Orders, I think, and take the knockout on the Dedenne now. So this is as good as it's going to get. We've discarded our energy. We're going to draw 2 prizes. We know that there is at least 1 Rare Candy left in our deck. So we can definitely get there. But yeah, we probably should have tried to get the Raboot that turn. If I had the Level Ball still, we could have guaranteed it, but that's okay. If we find Rare Candy off of the next 5 cards, because we get to look at 5, then we will win the game. In fact, I think it's actually guaranteed with the Marnie. No, it's not, because the 2 Cinderaces are in our hand. So that's something else. We will Quick Ball. We'll get rid of the Minccino. It doesn't matter at this point. There's a 1 Rare Candy in there. Then we will use Evo Incense. We will remove the Raboot from the deck. We do not want to draw into that. Now, we have a 50-50 shot of finding this Rare Candy. There are 8 cards left in the deck, and we are drawing 4 of them. So, we will trade the Fan of Waves away. We do not get it. We will make do. We'll get rid of the Fan of Waves again. Hopefully we get it this time. And we do. That's perfect. Okay, beautiful. So Cinderace is going to come in here. We're going to be able to retreat into it. And then we are going to be able to take a knockout on the Excadrill. And that one was really, really close. But Cinderace comes through again. We get the win. And remember, these cards come in the V Battle Deck, right? So it is not hard to get a hold of them. And they are incredibly strong. So I would 100% recommend it. So it's a pretty good deck. It's capable of taking on even the best in the Pokemon TCG world. What we're going to do is we're going to rank this deck and tell you exactly how good I think it can be. Let's start with playability. Can this thing take on the best decks? Well, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's not S tier by any stretch. It's probably not A tier either. I'm giving this one a B for playability. You can reasonably expect to go out onto the ladder and win some games. How consistent is it? Well, it's about the same. It's not going to do the same job every single game. Sometimes you're going to have some problems, but most of the time it is going to get the job done. How much does it cost? Well, I mean, the cards come in a theme deck, so this is super, super cheap, very affordable. I'm giving it an A. It's not like all the cards are free. It's not like you're going to be able to get it super, super easily, but it is definitely very affordable. And is it fun? I think this deck is a lot of fun. So in an overall grade, I'm giving this one a B+. It is a pretty solid rogue option if you are looking for one on the TCG ladder. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much for your attendance. If you liked the video, then make sure you go down into the description-y area and leave a like for me. If you also enjoy it so much that you'd like to support the channel, then become a member. It's as cheap as $3 Australian a day. Thank you very much, Dadbot, Azazel, Fernando, Yolo, Stephen Ty, Agent Abel, Austin Ortiz, Josiah, Leaf Devour, Robsy Caster, Brad Shings, Brad Justin, and Croc Otaku Gaming, as well as all of my other Mega and regular Sableyes, Mega Sableyes over there in white. Thank you very much, everyone, and I'll catch you next time for more from the Sableyes.